How's everybody doing?
Good.
I got a big mouth, so I don't need a microphone. I'm gonna show the shirt real quick, and then I'm gonna go into what I'm talking about. This is my shirt bearing my logo. It was done by a poet out of Columbia. Out of Augusta. His name is Change. He wanted to draw something that I was supposed to get tattooed, but when I looked at it and he brought it to me, it was on paper. I was so taken aback because, as you can see, besides my hat, I left the hat over there. But no, I don't need the hat. I don't need it. I left it over there for a reason. This is me. If you're gonna catch me, I'm dressed in the most hip hop attire, honoring those who did music in hip hop or before me, or I'm dressed to the nines. And yeah, socks, boom, all day. I did that this morning for you. I did that. So, and it bears my signature poem on the back. Nostalgia is the poem that I'm known for. It talks about back in the days. It's pretty much my ode to where I'm from, which is Brooklyn. So that's my shirt. It goes for $10. I have CDs. Just come see me, come talk to me. I'm gonna get to why I'm here at service. But I'm also touch on business and occupation. Okay, quick background about me. I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn. I lived there 24 years of my life. I was raised by my mother. My father was in and out of my life. He was in and out of jail until eventually I was 14 years old, and he passed from complications from HIV/AIDS. I have sisters and brothers. I lost a brother when I was 5. His name is Anthony. I ended up naming my son after my brother. I never took my upbringing as an excuse for my actions. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I worked at a grocery store. First I worked summer youth, so I wanted to get my own clothes. And then I worked at a grocery store for 4 years until I graduated. And then I went to college. It took me about 6 years to get out of high school. But I left my original high school, I went to an alternative high school, and I graduated. And not only did I graduate, I had the opportunity to graduate my class. So my principal, God rest dead, Mr. Edward Reynolds, is actually called Edward Reynolds West Side High now in Manhattan. And he gave me the microphone and allowed me to graduate the school. I've been doing music, I've been rapping and doing spoken word since 1992 when I started going to high school. I got into the trade of doing that because I used to remember everybody's rhymes. EPMD, Run DMC, the whole self-destruction. I can give it to you right now from beginning to end. So a friend of mine tells me, why don't you write your own since you have a great skill of memorization to remember people's rhymes. So I started writing rhymes. I went to school in Manhattan. There was people from the Bronx, there's people from Harlem, there's people from Queens that went to my school, and they would be rapping, representing their boroughs, and I was not going to have Brooklyn not represented, so I was going to represent my borough to the fullest. So that's a little bit of how I got into the spoken word thing. I went to college, went to Plattsburgh State University. I went for mass communications and business and minor. I ended up falling out of school about 2000. I went in 98, got out 2000. My wife went to school and graduated there. She's a school teacher. My wife is awesome. She wanted to be here, but she just came in this morning from taking her friend to Atlanta. It wasn't going to happen. She came in about maybe 6 this morning. I got up at 7. There's no way that she was going to be over. She'd have been, it's Saturday, let her rest. But my wife is a school teacher. She's about to be assistant principal in Aiken. She got job interviews. The whole story of my wife is awesome. Yeah, I'm so blessed to have her in my life. I've been in law enforcement since I've been here in South Carolina. I've been doing security. I worked at UPS at the Ground Hub. I worked at clubs doing security. I worked at Albanese Glen Detention Center for 3.5 years. I worked at DJJ for 2 years as a detention officer, as a juvenile correction officer. I always felt law enforcement was an easy field to work in because it's 90% chilling, 10% work. 10% we got to bam out and do paperwork. 90%, we just making sure everything flows the way it flows. So I'm good with that. And I try, and the fact that you sitting here in a suit jacket and you got a button up, I will treat you that same way if you was in a detention center. I treat you like a human being first. I judge your character, the content of your character. I treat you as a man, so you treat me as a man. So my temperament, and I guess from where I was raised, who I am, you no big deal to me. Your charges don't make you who you are. How you deal with me makes you who you are. So when people have gotten out of jail and I've seen them in the street, I never really had a problem. And if we had a problem, then we'll take care of it. I mean, it's just that simple. Now, business, I do a security company. We started a security company, me and my sister, her name is Lakia Brown. I have cards. We're called Brown Protective Services. We just went public last month. We did security for Yo Gotti at Soundstage in Columbia. I've been doing security, like I said, for 10 years. It takes a lot. You got to get your LLC. You gotta make sure that your credit is pretty decent, so you don't have no judges against you, so you can get a bond. So that's how you kind of go into security. Like I said, it's a lot. Security is a very important business for many different reasons. I feel that we need more security in schools. We need more security everywhere. I feel there's a big stigma between law enforcement and public, because I think the communication isn't there. You know, a lot of people, they don't like the police, they frown up, but that goes to a police officer or a law enforcement officer that don't do their job and don't speak to a person on a personable level. Just because I have responsibility and authority don't give me authority over you as an individual. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to serve. That's what we're here to do as law enforcement officers. Occupation, pretty much law enforcement, and then I have my own thing as a spoken word artist. I decided to brand myself as a spoken word artist. Red Storm's a spoken word artist, Johnny C's a spoken word artist. But the difference between me and them is you're getting a piece, you're knowing who I am through me giving you who I am through my shirts, CDs, and so on and so forth. It's just about marketing and promotion. It's something that Sean Combs done. Any businessman who wants to put themselves out there, they're going to give you that piece. That's why I have a poem where I speak of, if you buy these CDs and shirts from these and books and so on from these individuals, you get pieces of them with them. You carry them with it. It's an honor for us when persons come and they purchase our stuff. It's a blessing. It's a truly blessing, because you don't have to spend your money on our stuff. But I would figure that you would rather spend your money on folks that are trying to do stuff, black-owned businesses, our own businesses, which we don't do half the time. We're most times spending our money on a bunch of foolishness, on things we don't need in other places and other people, and not spending it on ourselves. So that's the thing about business with that. Service, I do, my motto in life is, if I can help someone every day, one person, I did God's will. So if so happen that I get in an accident, I pass on, if I can help someone every day, in any capacity, then I did God's job for the day. You know, that's my motto in living. Johnny C tells a story of a friend of ours. His name is Moody Black. His car broke down. He's almost in Greenville. I'm in Columbia. I call, I find out that his car breaks down, and I say, do you need me to come? And I would have came. I would have came to help him if I need to. I will give myself everything to try to help somebody. You know, I have, tell my business, I have a young lady who lives in my house, my wife's friend, her name was Dawn. She had stage 4 breast cancer. She's homeless. She's been homeless since August. She has 21, her daughter just turned 21, and a 6-year-old son. Now, the thing about Dawn is it's a fight, because even though she has stage 4 breast cancer, she's still smoking and she's still drinking. Mm-hmm. And I think she's given up. Even though she puts all these inspirational messages on her Facebook page, and she talks about recovery, but you have to you have to, if you want God to bless you, you have to do the things that God wants you to do to receive the blessing.
That's right. That's right.
You know, you have to do what's necessary for God to give you what you want. You stepped out on faith and you started your business. You know, you're working a job. Right now I work for the federal government. I work at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Columbia. I do armed security for them. I'll be, Monday and Tuesday coming up, I'll be going to shoot on the range to keep my job. I'm a little nervous about it. I've never failed the range, but who's to say that I wouldn't or wouldn't fail? You know, then I'm turning around and we're going to New Orleans to compete in a slam, Southern Pride, which is the second largest poetry slam in the country. And I'm going as an individual artist. Johnny C's going as part of a team. My team is going to be represented there, the Unusual Suspects. And that right there, that's easy. That's the easy stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. I do the spoken word as is my passion. It's something that I would do regardless of I put on concerts in the house. It doesn't matter. I do this because I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? But to get to the point of service, I just say like this, and I'm not going to drag it out too much longer. I say if you can help somebody, do that. If you see a young person, especially young men, and since we're about men, and ladies too, because I love the ladies because my mama was awesome. As bad as name on two legs, I swear, I miss her. If you see somebody, young man otherwise, and you see they may be going in the wrong direction, and this is something that she said that we lost. She said, what happened to the love and what happened to our people? What happened to the love and what happened to the people? I know I have an apartment complex that I stay in, and there's people that live next to me and there's people that live above me. There was a young man who came and he was trying to ask me a question. I was on the phone. And I got off the phone and then I chastised the young man. I said, wait, hold on. I don't know. I know you got a grandma, I know you got a mama and a daddy. And I know you know when you see a grown person talking, you wait until they finish their conversation, then you say, excuse me, and then you ask your question. You don't come and these are the things that we're missing. A lot of us don't do that anymore. And I don't care if you feel offended as a parent. Well, obviously, we're not doing our job as parents if our children don't do the things that our parents taught us. And we don't have, my wife had my daughter at 14, okay? Then my stepdaughter is 19 years old. My wife instills those things that her mother and her auntie and them and her grandma instilled in her. And those are the things that we need to continue to do. We need to not be afraid of these young folks that are growing up and let their parents check them on it. You know, you see them and they doing wrong, they out there, they smoking weed, they cussing, they doing things they're not supposed to be doing. You check them on it. You don't be afraid of that. And I don't care if they don't like it. You know you doing what's right. That's the service part of it. That's where's the love. You showing love to somebody when you see them, they doing wrong, and you try to set them back right. That's bottom line. You need to be strong in your convictions, and if you don't like sagging pants, if you don't like to see people doing things that they ain't supposed to be doing, standing on the corner, they may not change their position off the corner, but you can at least say something to them. Hey man, there's a better way to go about it. And then if you got a better way to show them, show them. I worked in the juvenile jail, I told them kids, look, if you want to hustle, there's so many different ways to hustle. Learn how to fix cars. Go out there and fix brakes. I had a guy that used to live across the street from me. He fixed brakes on the street. He had a car boy, he jacked the car up, and everybody came to him to get his brake. He was underbidding and undercutting prices. That's what he did, and he made his money. I mean, there's so many different ways to make money. You don't have to go out there and destroy your community and kill your people. So, I'm not going to hold y'all up. I'm going to